first Monday.
That's right.
You give me a hard time.
It's 5:30, I'll call the meeting to order. Thank you for being here. We'll move on to item 2, consent agenda. All the following items which concern reports and items of routine nature normally approved by AHA. Meetings will be approved by one vote unless any trustee desires to have a separate vote on any or all of the items. Consent agenda consists of discussion, consideration, and action on the following items. A, minutes of the regular trustee meeting, March 26, 2024. B, the Finance Committee meeting, April 22nd, 2024. And C, the check report, March 9th, 2024 through April 8th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda, items A through C as presented.
Second.
Thank you very much. I have a motion by Dr. Brown, second by Dr. Simon to approve the consent agenda, items A through C. Roll call?
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon. Yes. Mossberg,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes. Item 3, CEO's report. Candace.
All right, well, I was telling some of those that was here a little bit earlier that today we had surveyors show up. So instead of cleaning out the void like we had planned, we got to spend the day with surveyors. It went very well. They'll be here about half a day tomorrow and we'll wrap it up. So things look like it was going well today and we're not too worried about any of the findings. So we'll report out on that next time. The Senior Life Solutions program, still moving forward on that, getting a little further down the road on getting the space cleaned out next door and starting the remodel on that. I mentioned the void clean out. I wish you had seen it before. There's a space in the back of the basement that we call the void area, and it's the catch-all room that most people have, their junk room, and we have a very large junk room. It's where everything goes that nobody wants, and so it had gotten out of control, and a crew of our staff spent Monday very diligently chunking stuff. We had a roll-off and filled it up within a couple hours.
34 hours.
Yeah, so looks a lot better back there. Still got a little bit to do, but we've got a shred truck coming
May 7th.
May 7th, and probably we'll have at least 2 and maybe 2.5 or 3 trucks to shred. So lots going on, trying to get the basement cleaned up, ready to do flooring and paint by July 1st. So next thing, we've got Northwest Technology students, the LPN students here. Always good to have students in the building. We really enjoy that. They've been spending time on the floor, surgery, clinics, all of that. Radiology, excited to say that Carly Dietz has met her online or on-hands training for spending time with a mentor. She did complete that today, so she will be able to do that independently now. So we're excited for Carly. Surgery continues to go well, continuing to see lots of clinic patients and procedures. Dr. Gregg will officially retire July 1st, and Dr. Roberts will take on the endoscopy work until that gets to be, we don't want to fill him up completely with endoscopy, but he does have a partner that when we get to that point, will start coming to help with that as well. So we're happy about that. Pharmacy and Therapeutics met and to meet their requirements. Clinic, Carrie Colbert has agreed to manage to take on the urgent care. They kind of fall under me, and I really struggle to find time. I hate when they come to ask me things and my phone's going off, or I have to kick them out because something happens. So I visited with Carrie, and she's going to take on overseeing the urgent care clinic, so I appreciate that. You can see any of our new hires, etc. I was going to mention regarding registration. Lily at the front has taken on, we had an HIM clerk leave in the last few weeks, and Lily is doing a great job absorbing those duties. So we did save some money there by not replacing that person. We take care of that at the front desk now. Seems to be going okay. IT, Reese Almack, which is Mark Almack, our rock star nurse. This is his brother that has taken our IT position, and Reese has, I do that all the time. I say Mark and then Reese. Reese is doing a great job of jumping in and helping us finish up some projects that we had started. So happy to have him on board. Infection control lab, nothing really of note there. Maintenance, I want to do a shout out to Brian and Kelly, and Mark helped with environment of care today. Is there anybody else? Roy for a little bit. Losing Brad in that position with that many years of experience was a huge hit to our team. And these guys did a fantastic job of picking up and putting the pieces together for survey today to bring that all together and get the surveyor what he needed. So I do appreciate that. You can see no, it's not numbered, the online reputation scores. I did check that just Tuesday? Checked it Monday, I guess. Just to see what it looked like when I Google it, to see what the online reputation looks like. And as you can see, those numbers have really climbed, and I'm happy about that. That when people go out to Google our business, that it looks good. I don't think I have any more. I don't know where it's going. Nope, that's it. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Any questions? And I agree, I do like the executive report for the reputation. I hope that we can spread that word when we get time, and so.
When Kelly gets into that role.
Okay, no questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve and accept the Sheriff Medical Center written report for April 2024?
I move to approve the Sheriff Medical Center written report for April 2024.
Dr. Simon? Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Simon. I have a second by Mr. Bowman. Any questions? Roll call?
Burke,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Bowman.
Okay, item number 4, CFO's report. Angelica.
All right. For the month of March, we closed our cash balance at $62,195, which is about 2.3 days of operating expenses. Our accounts receivable rose $47,000 to $3,950,000. Our unbilled went up a little bit as well. We had been on a track after our implementation where we had been going down and getting closer to our KPI. Had a few things that popped up this month and brought us back up to 10.6. We're working on getting those issues resolved and moving that forward so we can continue to get closer to our KPI. Accounts payable, we have $1.6 million in accounts payable, and a part of that was just the timing and paying for the MRI. So the MRI, I think our bill outstanding there is $326,000, which is now paid. But at the time, at the very end of March, hadn't been paid yet. So brought that down a little bit closer to $1.3 million. I will say though, in that we've been doing really well, not drawing down from the line of credit. We've just been able to use the cash that we had coming in the door to work to get our bills paid back down. Trying to get down to a 60-day level in our outstanding AP, so that as we move into the summer months and things slow down, that we have our line of credit if we need to, but are in a good spot to start that. For the month of March, we had $1,884,000 in operating revenue. In net revenue, we had $878,000. The graph that I gave you guys an extra sheet of graphs. After we had our finance committee meeting, we had a request to add our operating expenses in there for fiscal year 2023. So that's that top graph in the top left-hand corner, and it's the green line. So you can see that our expenses are sitting right above last year's expenses, but our revenue is higher in this month. So some of those expenses, as our revenue goes up, our expenses are going to go up. But I feel like we're sitting in a very good spot trending forward. We had 34 patient days in the month of March and 229 visits. So we still have a lot of progress, or not progress, we still have a lot of visits coming in, but just starting to see that slowdown happening. To break out the clinic revenue expenses separate from the hospital, we had $424,000 in gross clinic revenue and operating revenue, or excuse me, net revenue of $141,000. Our operating expenses were $339,000 at the clinic. So our clinic visits were still up quite a bit. We had 1,603 clinic visits, which is down just a little bit, but still quite a bit for our providers in the clinics. We had 1,900 in the month of February. We wrote off about $7,000 to our collection agency in the month of March. We have worked after implementation to work to get those caught up, and we're just kind of on a monthly turn with those, and so those numbers are quite a bit smaller than what they have been. Our net operating loss for the month of March, our net loss for the month of March was $314,600. So we're still year-to-date about $295,000, but looking better than we were this time last year. So, we do have some things coming up. We just finalized our interim cost report and are anticipating $400,000 coming from Medicare for that, and then we also are getting our SHOP payment from Medicaid, which we anticipated another $150,000. So those things will also bolster our revenue for the month of March and kind of send us back in the direction that we had been heading. Are there any questions?
But did you say with the house, the salaries and wages, was it three pay periods?
We basically,
They
yes.
kind of overlap.
They overlap a little bit, yes. So there were 3 pay periods. If you look at the year-to-date numbers, we're just about even with where we were at this time last year.
Okay. Any questions for Angelica? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to item number 5, Medical Staff Executive Committee. Dr. Burke.
Well, the Medical Staff Executive Committee met on April the 18th, 2024. The only business that we need to bring to the board is credentialing committee. And we have 3 appointments to courtesy staff. We have Amy Frazier, geriatric psychiatry, Indira Chawla, psychiatry, and Muhammad Puri, psychiatry. So these are apparently on-call physicians that will work with whoever Senior Life Solutions hires for their geriatric psychiatrist, correct?
They'll be remote, yeah, they'll be like online.
And so they haven't hired their regular psychiatrist, but these are going to be the on-call backup last resort people, correct?
I think so.
That's my understanding.
Chloe said you're going, no, it's probably what you're going to get, is what that would look like. But
My packet says SSM, not OKEEN.
So do I have a motion to appoint to courtesy staff Amy Frazier, MD, geriatric psych?
Make a motion, we appoint to courtesy staff Amy Frazier, MD.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Brown, second by Dr. Simon, to appoint to courtesy staff Amy Frazier, MD. Roll call?
Simon?
Yes.
Mossberg?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes.
Bowman?
Yes.
Burke?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to appoint to courtesy staff Indira Chawla, MD?
I move that we appoint to courtesy staff Indira Chawla, MD, psychiatry.
Second.
Thank you. A motion by Dr. Simon, second by Mr. Bowman. to appoint to courtesy staff Indira Chala, MD. Roll call?
Mossberg,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Bowman, Burke,
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
And finally, do we have a motion to appoint to courtesy staff Mohammed Puri? Yes.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, you can.
Is Muhammad Puri MD, DO, or
Is it
LS?
MD? Sorry, I don't know about that.
It's missing from that.
Yeah, that's a good catch.
That's it.
I move to appoint to courtesy staff Mohammed Puri, MD, psychiatry.
I'll second.
Thank you. A motion by Dr. Simon, second by Dr. Burke to appoint to courtesy staff Mohammed Puri, MD. Roll call?
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon.
Yes.
Mossberg.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Dr. Burke. Agenda item 6, coffee.
All right, the April 10th coffee meeting, the departments reporting were IT, PT, surgery, radiology, West End Clinic, downtown clinic, and lab. All departments are in compliance with only some education and procedure review needing to be reassigned. IT was 94% in compliance. This was due to the leadership tasks not being completed, but with the hire of Reese Almack, that should, we should see that trending up soon. PT compliance rate is at 98.5% with all their tasks being completed. Surgery is at 91.1%. This is due to the procedures not being reviews not being completed. Amy stated that she is getting a handle on them and should see this increase by the next time she presents. Radiology compliance is at 97.8. A few of the tasks were changed to reflect the operating hours and when they could be completed. Elizabeth will work on the new QI before she reports again. West End Clinic compliance is at 95.6 for the downtown clinic. Now the West End Clinic is 95.6, the downtown clinic is 98.8. Both are due to the uncompleted education, and Carrie doesn't have a QI set up for the West End Clinic, but they will work on that to have that by next time. Lab compliance is at 98.6%. They have a few non-compliant procedures that are being updated with the changes with the updated Meditech Expanse. Patient satisfaction surveys for the ER providers were reviewed and all 3 scored 4 or above. And that is all I have for coffee. Did you see anything else that you want to talk about? Any questions?
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Candace. Item 7, improvements patient care.
So on the contract reviews, we had 4 that were compliant, 1 that needed to be archived. And then on the policy and procedures, you can see that there was just a couple of pages this time of changes to policies, and you can see in the final remarks what those changes were or if they were not updated, if it was just reviewed. And all of that did come up today in our survey review, and they honestly were tickled to death with our SQSS software that we use to keep us all on track. They wanted to know more about it.
Okay, we'll start with the A on improvements patient care, the contract review for quality evaluation. The following items from 7B to 7D are all routine policies and procedures. They will be approved or disapproved by 1 vote, unless any members desire to have a separate vote on any or all of the following items. Do I have a motion on item A?
I move that we,
Or excuse me,
It would be just 1 vote from 7B to 7D.
oh, for all of them, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yep.
make a motion that we approve items 7B through 7D as presented.
Okay, I have a motion by Dr. Brown. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bowman. Any questions? Thank you for that clarification. Roll call?
Hannaford,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Simon,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item 8, share convalescent home report.
Give 2 minutes.
So we, convalescent home had a slight increase in census from February to March. You can see my written report. We're trending along in pretty much where we'd like to be in terms of benchmarks and whatnot. The Jordans are presently reviewing some changes to the management agreement. They're going to hopefully bring back to us pretty soon, but they're looking at those this week so that we can get a management agreement in place. The election is still coming up on the 18th of June for the city to be able to convey the property to the hospital authority. But other than that, we did have to make some repairs to our cooling system in order to be able to, to have cool air in the building as it gets warmer out. But I think that pretty much is some of the narrative report. Any questions about how things have been going? The finances, we did have $234,000 in gross patient revenue. We had some contractuals, so our net total operating revenue was $210,000. Our net income after $227,000 in expenses was a $16,500 loss. Year to date, the nursing home has a $248,000 loss, which is about an $85,000 improvement from last year. But that's where we're sitting with the financials. Questions on that?
Any questions for Kelly?
So like I said, there is no management agreement to consider today, so we can either table it or just move on, whichever you want to.
Table?
Oh, yeah.
A motion to table? Do we need that or?
I don't think we need that, no, if there's no action taken, we're staying on action.
Okay, no action, so we'll go to item B. Anything you want to talk about that? Oh, same thing? Okay. Any questions for Kelly then? All right, we'll move on to the homestead report.
So the homestead had some move-outs that affected their March census, but Tanya's got several people kind of getting ready to move in. She showed a lot of apartments here in the last few weeks, and so that's looking pretty good. Their new activity director, Merla, is doing great. The residents love her, and she loves them. And let's see, they are getting prepared to have a Mother's Day event in May. And they work with city staff to prepare a capital improvement budget for the city with their obligation at the homestead. As far as the homestead financials go, they had a really good month, and this is probably stemming from payments coming in after the end of March, or after the end of February more so than what the March performance was, but $79,166 in revenue. They had $58,000 in operating expenses for a net income of $21,000. Year to date, the homestead has had about $554,000 in revenue and $513,000 in expenses for net of $40,889.
Any questions for Kelly? Okay, Kelly, anything on the foundation report?
Foundation did meet earlier this month in April. We welcomed 2 new board members. We hadn't met since you guys that have been on this board might recall that we did approve appointment of David Manning coming from as a recommendation from the hospital authority. The foundation also had an at-large member appointment, and that was William Buckles. And so we had a full board for the first time in a while, had a board meeting for the first time in a while. We approved about almost 100, or a little over $150,000 in, or maybe it's just under, anyway, somewhere around $150,000 back to the medical center for equipment and other items. We also approved 2 $1,000 scholarships to be awarded at the May 1st Alva High School Awards Banquet. We'll announce those then. Great. We had 9 candidates for the scholarship, and they were all excellent students from Alva High, and so we're excited to be able to give 2 scholarships away this year. So.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Kelly on Foundation? Okay, moving on, we'll go to St. Anthony's report. So, welcome.
Thank you. Always good to be here. First time this year.
Clark Hauser.
Clark Hauser, working in the Rural Health Department. But St. Anthony's has a couple of inpatient projects underway. They're expanding capacity, adding beds at the Midwest campus and at the Midtown campus. That should aid in transfers. They said that Sharon Medical Center sends a lot of transfers down there, so they want to make sure I thank you for the transfers, and if there's any feedback on how the transfer center is working or a way to improve that. They're just trying to expand capacity to make sure that whenever you call, there's a bed available. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Greg, City Council report?
Excuse me. Other than the routine business, we had a presentation from Waste Connections on privatizing trash service in the city. And that's what it was just a presentation and discussion. No actions taken on that. The fuel system upgrade at the airport is proceeding along, working on a new fuel tank. Northwest Electric was awarded the bid for the lighting upgrade in the city buildings, and we are selling a 2003 ambulance because we're done that.
Guess we could buy that from me.
And you can't tell about that.
And that's about it.
Okay, any questions for
No?
Mr. Bowman? I thought we had a deal working over here, but I guess not.
Turning into a food
We
truck.
need a maintenance truck.
Oh.
Might make a camper if you could get it where you wanted to land it.
On AHA, Chair's report, just really the big thing is we'll be preparing to work on budget for this upcoming fiscal year, so think about us. Any new business? Okay, hearing none, we're adjourned.